Hello, I wanted to kind of go into depth a bit about my specific reason of it because there's like a lot of symbolism and I wanted to talk a bit specifically about like kind of like what that specific symbolism was because I put in a lot of it and I think it's just interesting because I know people really like to dig into like art and writing symbolism, even like music, but I don't really think people like look into edits as much as like they kind of should. So there's definitely some symbolism here. So obviously there is some definitely more subtle kind of symbolism in the way of like this kind of lens flare effect. Not only does it just look really pretty, but the whole thing, I've like talked to people like about people who have been in love, and I know that people who have been like had their heart like broken, they said they've kind of experienced kind of like a flame kind of feeling, like your heart is on fire. Like people describe passionate love and they'll have like flames on a heart, like just describe that. So the whole part was about that, and obviously the entire song in general, with its kind of tone and lyrics fit moving on especially well. So this first part, I've seen a lot of theories about how it's actually Remus and Janice in the background with Patton, and it's not actually. It is they're supposed to represent the shadows of his past and how he's feeling and how he really can't let them go. But at the same time, when they go away, they're also representing how he feels very lonely. And that's why when Logan comes in, he does not have any shadows because he doesn't understand how Patton feels. And obviously, this is a bit more direct when it's supposed to be how Logan is telling Patton directly that he needs to let, Thomas's ex go. And then the go disperses because obviously Patton can't really do that. He's trying though. And so we have the shadows in the background. They're a little less, I would say, viewable as Patton's because Patton's was a lot more viewable. But with Thomas's, they're a little less so just because Thomas still has like Logan in there to kind of counteract that just a tiny bit. But he is also it's basically he's reflecting how Patton feels. He feels alone. He feels like he has a shadow of his past, and then obviously when he turns around, when he looks more hopeful, the room turns into the moving on room, and then you have all the sides in the background, and Roman and Patton are there because obviously they are more front and center in this kind of episode and how Thomas is feeling currently, while Logan and Virgil are kind of pushed more to the side. And then obviously you have him flashing with memories because you know what? Who doesn't, man? I mean, that's the whole thing though, is like when it's the entire sequence at the very end is definitely like kind of in movies how it is like they have those flashing scenes of memories, and I think especially like that scene, and then in the effect later, it was inspired a lot by Infinity Train because of how like they have like similar things to that when it comes to memories. Anyways, so the beginning starts up. We obviously have to let Logan leave because that's what the whole episode is about, is him leaving. I like the shot especially because it's close up. It really shows how Thomas is feeling, what Thomas is necessarily thinking. It's close to his thoughts. And then we have all of them coming in their most vulnerable moment of the episode when they're all like thinking about specific moments in Thomas's life when it comes to their ex. Pat is front and center because obviously he's front and center in Thomas's emotions right now. He is his heart. He is his center. And then it captures here kind of a picture moment. Everything slows down. They're kind of caught in this moment because it's so important to them. You kind of are lost for words. I know people when they are sad, you can kind of feel like they're desaturated. They don't have as much life, vibrant color to them as usual, which is here. They aren't feeling themselves. So we turn in here and we have Mr. Thomas. He's looking confused. Again, it's kind of going into how he truly feels. So we have Patton. He looks very sad. So he kind of burns up because that's how he kind of feels inside, a little bit burned up, a little bit. Because again, with fire in a heart, it can leave you burned, which is why also. Now, the effect itself was actually snowflakes, like snow overlay, but I inverted it and kind of made it look more like ashes. But so especially here when it says, oh. So specifically here, I know people have been thinking it's analogical. It's not actually analogical, but we were nothing. So it's basically showing that in this conversation, Virgil and Logan didn't really get as much say as they really needed to be, especially Logan, which is why he is right after nothing. We come into Roman, and originally I was just going to do a zoom in from the eye, but I thought it would be a lot cooler if I had it to where it zoomed out and spinned, because Roman himself throughout that entire episode is kind of spiraling out of control. He kind of gets worse of, well, we should do this, we should do that, and then when Logan leaves, he fully just goes into this thing of, we need to call him right now. So in the original shot, Virgil is looking to Logan's empty spot. That's where he's looking forward to. But now he has to kind of look to Patton for like emotions in this way, because all of them are trying to help Patton necessarily move on. So he looks to Patton. You can kind of see that in the transition. And obviously Patton through this whole situation is kind of glitching out. He's lying to himself. He feels sad. He feels as the eyes and tail like kind of dead. He's definitely not showing him true self, and it's kind of flashing throughout the episode of him showing how he truly feels and how he doesn't. And then finally, with this lyric, treat me. So it's referring to like how they're treating him really kind of like annoyed throughout the entire episode, and it kind of ends up lashing him out. And at the end, like I said before, when it came to that sequence and also in Infinity Train, how they portrayed members was on film strips, and I was also referencing the older edit, and I thought it'd be a cool effect to do it. But again, it's also trying to show off like these memories that Tom's had. They're flashing, and then we all have their moments. Again, Penn is in the center because he is the heart. All of the moments where they kind of have like their little like breaking moment, and then we end off with Thomas being sad with no one in the bed. Oh, it's so sad. But yeah, that's all the symbolism in the edit. There could be more, I can't remember, but this is what I'm thinking off the top of the head. I don't know. I just symbolism is cool, especially in edits. I appreciate edits more. Yeah.